My name is Azanda Seymour, and I am a Westfield State University alum, class of 1992, and I am currently the executive assistant to the president here at the university. When I was a student, I majored in communication and never thought that my career would take me back to Westfield State University. When I entered Westfield State University as an undergraduate back in 1988, my intention was to come here just as a first-year student and then transfer. Had it not been for Dr. Carlton Pickron, I would not have been here, let alone I would not have stayed here as long as I did. I actually had an opportunity to attend another university, and Dr. Pickron took me in at the very last minute when things didn't go through with my first choice university. And so once I came here for that first year, I made a lot of connections with faculty and staff, and worked with Dr. Pickron and some other folks who were in the urban education program at the time. Joan Fuller was one of them, Kamal Ali was one of them, and they mentored me and nurtured me. And I knew that I couldn't leave at that point because I knew I would not get the service and the attention that I received from them at any other institution. Fast forward to my time here as an undergrad, I got very involved with campus organizations. I worked in the president's office as a work study student, and I connected with the alumni office here as well, where I split my duties in the president's office and with the Office of Alumni Affairs. It was the director of Alumni Affairs, her name is Maureen Fitzgerald, who at the time saw something in me I didn't see in myself. When I graduated and I came back to Westfield to visit people on campus that I knew, she was one of the people I went to visit, and she encouraged me to apply for a job here. I was working in banking at the time in Georgia, and I thought my career path had already been carved out to work in banking. And Maureen literally made me sit at a computer and work on my resume and apply for an admissions counselor position. I applied for the position, I got the position, and that opened up my eyes to a career in higher education that I had not thought of. And I owe a lot to her, and I owe a lot to Carlton. I thank them for it all the time. I went on to get my master's degree in higher education, and I'm now working on my doctorate in educational leadership. And Carlton is still a mentor of mine. My husband is also an alum, and I don't make a decision whether it is professional or academic without first consulting Carlton. One of my regrets as a student is not taking advantage of the opportunities that were available to me. I became interested in traveling abroad. I took every step with the exception of applying to go abroad. I was supposed to go to London with one of my classmates. We made a pact that we would travel together, and I backed out of it. And she continued, and she went, and she came back a changed person. And so for me, that was one of the biggest regrets, is that I did not study abroad when I was an undergraduate student. I would say professionally, I've had some obstacles. The first one is when I was in banking, my age at the time, I was fresh out of college. So there was a lot of skepticism, I guess, about my abilities to move along within that career. So that was one obstacle that I faced. Another one was when I started working on my master's degree. I was working full time, and I had just started building a new home, and my husband and I had found out after trying for 2 years that we were pregnant with our first child. And so that was a huge obstacle for me because it was a lot of work-life balance, and I did get a lot of resistance from my faculty members in my master's program. It was very discouraging, but I knew I had to forge ahead because I knew that I needed to complete my degree in order to move ahead within higher education, and I also wanted to do it to lead by example for my child. And so today, working on my doctorate has been a huge obstacle for me because again, it's that work-life balance. Now I have 2 children, and I have a position that has afforded me a lot of opportunities, but it also takes a lot of time away from what I do in the evenings with my family at times, and so that's been a challenge for me as well. Here on campus, my support systems, I have many, and of course Carlton is one of them. Dr. Christina Swadan is another one. Lori Simpson, who is the director of advising here, she's actually a classmate of mine from 1992, and if it weren't for her, I would not have applied for my doctorate program. So I do have a support system here, and definitely Dr. Liz Preston, who has seen the potential that I have in order to take on this position, and she encourages me daily to say, you know, where are you with your writing, and what do you need, how can I help you? And then there are countless other people on campus who have volunteered their time and their skills to help me along this path. My advice to someone who is seeking a mentor is to kind of look at people outside of what their roles are, look at people as individuals. I would also advise people to ask questions and to observe, and to kind of think of what they want out of a mentorship. What is it that your end goal is? What do you want this person to help guide you through? And then start seeking people out and asking them if they would be a mentor to you. And I think that would be the greatest compliment that you could give to someone, is to ask them to mentor you, because it shows them that you trust them and that you see something in them that you feel as though that can help you with your path. And then the biggest thing that you can do after that is to mentor someone else.